Morning guys, welcome back to the cave. Sorry it's been a while since I put the video out. Now this is going to be a fairly long intro, so if you don't like long intros, fast forward and get onto the turning. Right, what I'm doing today, I'm doing a fruit bowl which is around about 16 inches by 3. Now the reason I'm doing this was watching a live on Saturday night, the Flaming Turner. If you haven't watched any of his videos, I'll put a link in the description below. And we're having a chat, everybody's joining in the live chat, and there's another guy in there called Steve Twydell. Again, if you haven't watched any of his videos, I'll put a link in the description below. He goes under Wood Turning Live with Steve Twydell. Now Steve is an English guy who lives on the west coast of Ireland now. He's a teaching assistant, working with kids with special needs, and realistically what he wants to do, he wants to do making with kids sort of as his full-time job. So as part of that, what he's actually done, he's bought a caravan and he's in the process of converting the caravan into a workshop. It's going to have disabled access, so wheelchair access. He's going to have a lathe in there, other types of things. He doesn't just do wood turning, he's basically a jack of all trades. So what he wants to do is teach kids sort of different life skills, different maker skills if you like. So on Saturday night on the live with Nick the Flaming Turner, somebody suggested making some fruit to go into an auction, and the auction is going to go towards supporting the creative van. So the auction is going to be held at Christmas. I stuck my hand up and said I'd do the fruit bowl. If anybody's interested in joining in, it doesn't have to be wood turning. Basically you can make a piece of fruit out of whatever you like. Get in touch with me on Facebook under Wayne the Wood Turner. Get in touch with me on Instagram under Wayne the Wood Turner 2. And if you want to send some fruit across, I'll send out my address and you can send me the fruit, and then we'll all get it sorted for an auction at Christmas, and I'll get everything sent out to whoever wins the auction. So that's what we're doing today. So I'll stop the camera for the moment. I'll get it set up so we've actually got it on the piece that I'm working with. It's a piece of Sycamore, just in case there's any arguments about the wood, and this is for Leona. It's definitely a Sycamore. It is, honest. Right, so I'm just going to adjust the camera and then we'll get some turning done. Right, here we are then. So that's the piece on the lathe. I've got it mounted on the lathe and I'm going to be turning at around about 500. Yeah, it's just short of 550. Now what I will be doing, I'll be doing a lot of the turning, or when I edit the video, a lot of the turning will be done on time lapse. That'll do for that for the moment. Right, I'm just bringing the outside around so it's nicely rounded. Right, that's the bottom finished. So what I'll do now, I'll just switch the camera off while I get it sanded, and then we'll come back when I'm getting some finish on. Right then, it's been sanded to 240. It's had a coat of cellulose sand and sealer put on, and that's been knocked back with one of the abrasive pads. And now I'm going to go ahead and put on some Yorkshire grit. So I apply it while the lathe is stationary, and don't be afraid to put lots on. So Yorkshire grit is an abrasive paste made here in the UK by a guy called Glyn Senior down in Scarborough in Yorkshire. He was up for a visit the other week. Him and his wife Jo came up for a couple of days visit a couple of weeks ago, and he was showing me a different technique that he started using. Glyn tends to do a lot of research when he's doing stuff. So what he recommended was turn the speed down to about 250 and start rubbing it in, just using the paper that you've applied it with. So that's still got Yorkshire grit on there, and spend about 3.5 minutes just rubbing it in. I don't think you can see it very well, but you do tend to get a lot of slurry, if you like, using Yorkshire grit. And as long as you've got the slurry there, the abrasive part of the paste is still working. Well, just keep rubbing it in, and as you work it in, the abrasive in the paste breaks down and gets thinner and thinner. So by the time you've rubbed all the Yorkshire grit in and it's nice and smooth, you're finishing up with the equivalent of around about 1,000 grit. Then you can just start increasing the speed. And a clean piece of kitchen roll or whatever it is you use. I tend to use kitchen roll. And again, keep on rubbing it in. And what you're going to do, you're going to be getting a clean piece of kitchen roll each time. I'll swap this one in a minute. And you keep on rubbing it in until you get no residue left on the kitchen roll. Increase the speed again. That's me up at about 450 now. And doing it this way you actually get a very, very good shine on the piece itself. Before you put any finishing product on. Yorkshire grit within itself is not a finishing product, it's part of the abrasive process, if you like. It's getting there. One final one. And to finish, as a finish, I'm going to use microcrystalline wax. Microcrystalline wax is a good type of wax to use on something like this, something that's going to get a fair amount of handling, because it does resist fingerprints once it's dry and buffed up. Again, we're running at about 450, just over. I'll just get that rubbed in. And what I usually do is leave it for about 10 minutes. Once I've got it all rubbed in, leave it for about 10 minutes. Just to let it dry off. And then come back and go over it with a buffing wheel. I use a buffing wheel that I've just got in, just put in the drill. I can use it in a Jacob's chuck actually on the lathe as well. And there's the bottom finish. So we'll just get it flipped over. Now it seems to be running nice and true, so we'll just get that tightened up. Yeah, that's running fine. Bring the tool rest up. I'm just going to face off the top. have a look and see how that's looking. Still need to take a piece out of here. I'm just going to carry on turning now, and again this piece will probably get time lapsed. Got a bit of a ridge there. I'll just try and get rid of that. Right, and that's the inside turned. So again, I'll get that sanded off camera and come back when we're doing the finish. Right then, so the inside's done. It's been sanded to 240. It's had Yorkshire grit on. That's been worked in. It's had a coat of microcrystalline wax, and that's had time to dry. So what I'm going to do now is just give it a quick buff with my buffing wheel in the drill. I'll do both. I'll do the back and the front. Right, and now I'll just pop it off the lathe and let you see what it looks like. So there you go. I've got some flicker on the screen. I mustn't have changed it from 60 to 50 Hertz, but not to worry, it's nearly the end of the video. I don't know if you can see very well. You probably pick it up better when I take photos. but it's got some beautiful ripple going across this. So that's the Sycamore bowl done. I'll just alter the camera angle a wee bit so I can see it raw properly. Pop that up. See what that's like. A little bit further. Turn that round a wee bit. And there we are. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, give us a thumbs down. But if you're going to give us a thumbs down, let us know why. It's probably going to be a fairly long video, this one, but I will try and shorten it, because I know not everybody likes sitting through long videos. I'll put in the description, I'll put the links to both Nick the Flamin' Turner and Steve. Steve, I think he's got a Facebook page as well, the Creative and Facebook page. I'll look that up and I'll stick that on there as well, so you can pop across and actually watch his progress on how he's doing and everything. And I think that's me. I'll be live again on Wednesday night. Not sure what I'm going to be doing. I was going to be doing this bowl live, but I decided to do a video of it instead. I might do a bit of texturing, a bit of colouring. So hopefully see you Wednesday. If not, I'll be probably putting another video out next week sometime. Bye for now.